and live your life today. It doesn't matter what they say.
All right, welcome to another episode of Red Lotus Life. We're so excited to have you join us. As always, I have my beautiful co-host here, Sarah Elizabeth, who is also a co-creator with me in Say Yes to Soul. Um, Gosh, we don't really have a lot to talk about. Well, I say that, but we'll see how long this actually goes. Today, we wanted to speak about what's happening in Say Yes to Soul, because the more we do this work and the longer that we do this work, we see and experience the deepening, because this is also where Sarah and I do our own work with the members of Say Yes to Soul. And so it's really fun to be able to speak from a place of experience.
Oh my gosh, yes. That place of experience, and then also being able to reflect back over not only the years, but even like the last few months and where we are now and what's landing.
Yeah, it's super crazy. So just to catch anyone up who hasn't seen the other episodes, we were doing, let's see, was this July? So July of 2024, we were doing an open heart clear, right? We were focused on the open, was that July? Or was that?
It was August. The open heart, we started the open heart in August.
Okay. So we're getting ready to go into the part of relationships in the life design plan. So for the next probably, I want to say 4 months, we're going to be diving into intimate and romantic relationships, friendships, family relationships, and also work and career relationships. So we thought, you know what, we need to pause in the life design plan and actually let's create a bridge. So we decided to do an open heart clear, which was amazing. So amazing that we actually have taken 2 months to integrate it. So that's what we're going to talk to you about today, because next week, no, not next week, in 2 weeks, we'll be doing the intimate and romantic relationships clear for October. And just, wow, like the deepening that's beginning to happen, I've experienced. It's just insane. For anyone who's known me for a long time, or like I'm not a vulnerable person. Like that's just not, it wasn't in my DNA. Like I'm half Japanese. So the culture is like, you're not vulnerable. No one sees you break. You are strong. So I've always had the strong spine, but the open heart was not necessarily there. Yes, I'm heart-centered. Yes, I am caring and kind and compassionate and empathetic and all of those things. But to have other people see me vulnerable, that's like very few people in this world actually get to see that. But that's what I've been experiencing with this open heart. Like the heart walls just falling, not even falling, they're just dissolving. And I'm showing
Yeah.
up in a very different way in all of my relationships. Yeah, what about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, same. It's been so beautiful, and just the amount of joy that I'm experiencing. And this has kind of been an ongoing theme for me, and a conversation that Lori and I have had over the years as we have continued to do this work. Like it was really hard for me to access my own joy from a place of like an inner joy rather than it always only coming from a place of external. So I might find joy in something that my children did or something that they accomplished, or I might find joy in like celebrating something that Lori has accomplished, or it was always something externally derived rather than being able to feel that from the inside from my own heart space. And so I've noticed this month that as I am witnessing things that do bring me joy, like the tears will come, it's welling up. And it's not like an overly emotional response or anything, but it is that vulnerability and just allowing myself to feel that. And it's just, I feel like people are looking at me going, like, what? It's kind of like what you were sharing, like they need to manage it somehow. I'm like, no, actually, excuse me, I'm really in a sovereign space. I'm just feeling. And it's just, it's been so beautiful because what we have been able to journey with, we have journeyed with the back of the heart wall being that armor in the back of the heart wall falling away, which is such a rare, there's so few opportunities for people to be doing the work at the depth that we actually are able to reach the back of the heart wall. That combined with the womb, heart, throat axis and the womb work, we have, womb activation happening. It's just been so beautiful to witness, not only what Lori and I are experiencing, but especially what's happening within the Say It's the Soul container.
I know, it's amazing. We have a chat with all of the members, those who choose to be in the chat, and this is where we always say the real magic happens because that's where we show up and we're just adding more insight and things like that to support each other. It's such an amazing, beautiful community that's happening in there. And I love what one of them said right before we came on this call to film this. That she said, what did she say? I've discovered that when I lose my shit, when I lose my shit, I gain clarity. Right?
Yeah,
Is that what she
basically.
said? When I lose my shit, I gain clarity. And I was like, yes, this is the work because let's clarify what losing or define what losing our shit means. So losing our shit doesn't mean what
Going out
you said.
sideways.
Yeah, coming out sideways and like what you said of people going, man, is she going to get it together or whatever? Because it's losing our shit in a way that we are vulnerable and we're able to just lose it, whatever that means. So like for me, I had a conversation with a group of my friends where I was sharing from my open heart some big, huge healing stuff that had happened. And it was a positive thing. It was positive. It was awesome. I was just sharing, but I was ugly crying like no other. And they didn't know. And nobody sees me ugly cry. Very few people have seen that. And this group of friends has never seen that. And they just didn't know how to, like I was talking to you, you brought it up. So manage it. Like they were trying to manage it and going, oh my gosh, Lori is losing her shit, right? Lori's losing her shit right now. So how do we, and it was interesting to see how each one was trying to manage it because they'd never really seen that before and they didn't know how to receive it. But it was awesome because it was positive. And even for me to be that vulnerable to allow someone to see me that way, especially a group of people, was huge. And so that's an example of saying, oh, I was losing my shit, but in a sovereign way. Like it was sovereign. It was bringing peace and joy to my heart. And I was sharing with them some missing pieces of healing. And I would have never received it without actually this clear. So
Mhm.
that's an example. But I also love it too, because I'll just share the one other example and then you can share a couple of things that you've been experiencing. But like I rarely lose my shit in an anger way too. But I did. I did one day. I'm still in the process of renovating and things like that. And some things are just a mess. And I was losing it and I was opening boxes and I was just like, but that was a period of where I had complete clarity again. Like I had complete clarity of like what I wanted to accomplish, what was going to happen. And it was in this space that things were getting done and they got done so fast. Like so much stuff got done in such a short amount of time. And it was because I was losing it. I was vulnerable enough to lose it. So then I was able to get the stuff done. So that's what we're talking about when we're losing it from a sovereign state. Very different than when we're losing it just because we're losing it and we don't have control over that.
Yeah, when we're coming from the space of, well, to begin with, as we're releasing, when we were working with the small intestine meridian this month. And so as we were all feeling that clear begin to release from the small intestine, it's kind of like sent this energy of this creation energy, this purging energy, this cleansing energy, straight up through the chakras, straight to the heart. And then that sort of radiated out into the environments. No matter what that looks like for each of us, of course, is always so individual, but that is where that energy can now be used to create and to express our passions, but to be able to use our voices and to shift. So we find ourselves sort of, as we're moving through these clears, we find ourselves sort of in a state of contraction. And then once it's all released, then, oh, there's the expansion. And now we're shifting timelines, right?
Yeah. I love how you brought that up because yeah, it's when we're losing it that we're able to create that space. And now we're actually using that creation energy from the womb space, throwing up to the heart, but I didn't mean actually throwing up in the purging way, but it kind of has been happening for some of our people. I know I went through a few things with the body because we are purging things from the body as well, these emotional blocks. But yeah, so whenever I say like the creation energy from the womb space throws up to like it's I can feel it. It's like I don't want to say aggressive. What would be the word of like it's not a flow. It's like whew, and it comes right to the heart space and then it kind of simmers there for a minute and then it comes out through the throat in it's a loving way, even though it might be expressed in some more intense emotion.
Yeah, so basically what happens, the way that I would explain that is that as the emotional blocks, and in this case it was hurting around romantic love, which of course, because given the fact we're moving into intimate and romantic relationships, of course that's what the clear was. But as that's being released, what happens is it now opens up the energy. So we'll call it Shakti energy here. That Shakti energy or Kundalini energy or Chi energy, it's our life force energy. There's now space for it to be able to, like Lori said, to kind of shoot up through our chakras. So that's exactly what we've been experiencing, and even all the way, up through the crown. But with this being specific to the heart space and the open throat, being able to use our voices, that's kind of what we've been focused on. But absolutely, we have definitely had third eye and crown show up for us as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. So it's just been really, really cool. If you want to hear more about this, we'd be happy to share a conversation about this in Patreon. But it's so amazing to just like, I'm so excited to see what happens in the next few months in Say Yes to Soul as we go into relationships and we start to focus on these individual relationships as well after experiencing this open heart. And really, we are like, this is the week that we've been really active. We've been noticing the activation of the womb, the heart, and the throat axis. So it's just, I don't know, it's just exciting because I'm showing up in ways that I haven't in a really long time and didn't even quite realize that the heart walls were there. They were so subconscious and unconscious. So
yeah, so that you just sort of, I just found some clarity because I keep saying, oh, I feel so surrendered. I feel so surrendered. And it feels like a soul surrender. And it is because that armor has fallen away. So, oh, it's just such a beautiful space to be in.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, so just really looking forward to what's to come. We invite you all to join us in Say Yes to Soul. And if you want to hear more about what we're talking about here with that womb, heart, and throat axis or the open heart and what we've been experiencing, we're happy to go even deeper and be more transparent in Patreon. So just let us know. Put it in the comments below.
Yes, please join us.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
And live your life today. It doesn't matter what they say.